assignment together and report on this huge snowstorm that is happening. This huge, huge snowstorm. So you've got some really classic romance tropes in this. You've got forced proximity, grumpy sunshine. Jackson is very type A and Delilah is more type B. And I really enjoyed their dynamic. I was swooning. I thought it was really cute. And Jackson is definitely a new book boyfriend, like on my list of favorites. I thought he was great. He is particular. He struggles with anxiety, and I found the anxiety rep to be very relatable. And it was so nice to see Delilah and Jackson go from having a sort of not so great first impressions of each other. They've been like distant acquaintances for years, but have never liked each other. But to watch them slowly discover while they're on this work assignment that their differences actually make them a very good team. Very romantic, very cute. There was a plot line with Delilah's boss, that I found like a bit corny, but for the most part, I had a really good time, and I gave it 4 stars, 4 stars. So I would actually recommend this as a good winter, like cozy winter read. I'm kind of unsure why it was released right now, but that's okay. That is. And now, back to you. Now let's talk about some classics, because I did pick up 2 of them this month. The first one is Animal Farm by George Orwell. Animal Farm. Now, I vaguely remember reading this in like middle school, but I definitely did not pay close attention. My undiagnosed ADHD self, I did not care at the time. And so I recently got this copy and figured I need to give it another shot and really actually put some focus into it. So I picked it up. I read it in one day, just on like a nice Sunday. It's quite short, easy to get through. It's like 140 pages. And it was very enjoyable. I'm actually quite surprised at how accessible the writing style was. Very easy to get into. This is about a group of farm animals who decide to revolt against the humans that they are working for. But when that happens, a certain group of the animals starts to kind of take over. And initially it was published as an allegory for the Russian Revolution. I totally see how it has become a satire on totalitarianism just as a whole. Very timely to read it right now with the current American administration that I absolutely hate. I really enjoyed it. I am trying to encourage my fiance to pick this up, and I do have 1984 on my TBR list next, so I'm gonna pick that up soon as well. But yeah, very good. Gave this 4 stars. 4 stars. The other classic that I picked up in March, I read as an ebook. So we'll do some e-reader tapping while we discuss The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins. This is a classic horror novella. It's very short, the shortest book on this list by far. It's like 33 pages, and it was initially published in the 1830s, and it's about a nameless woman who is married to a physician, and she has been struggling with her mental health, and he diagnoses her with hysteria and essentially isolates her in this room in their summer house. And so you watch as her mental state continues to just deteriorate more and more throughout the book. It's very eerie and quite captivating. The wallpaper itself these two women in their 40s who are out one night at a bar and discover that they're birthday twins. And one of the women has a podcast, and so the other one, Josie, ends up being a guest on the podcast and like spilling all about her life and her drama, and it gets, dark and creepy, and you don't know what to believe. And there is a bit of a mixed media element, which I did actually enjoy. You get just the regular narrative from both women, but then glimpses into the podcast and glimpses into a Netflix documentary that's been made about the situation like years in the future. So you're kind of jumping around, you're not sure what's going on. I did not give a fuck about any of these characters. Josie, pathetic. A loser. Her husband Walter, a fucking creep. And Alex, the podcast girl, didn't care. The only thing that I wanted to know was like what was going on with her daughters, with Josie's daughters. And then by the time I got to the end, I was just kind of like, okay, like it didn't feel worth it to me. I'm definitely a character-based reader, and I can enjoy unlikable characters, but I have to still want to at least root for somebody. And I didn't have anyone to root for in this book. I truly didn't care. Didn't care what happened to them. I don't know. I didn't like it. 2 stars did not work for me, but that doesn't mean it might not work for you. That's how I differentiate between a 2-star and a 1-star. A 1-star is like, I think this book is kind of objectively bad and I don't recommend it to anybody. But a 2-star is like, this just didn't work for me and my personal preferences, but other people could enjoy it. That is how I feel about this. So yeah, did not enjoy this at all. Josie and Walter, worst characters I've read about all year so far. So that was a 2-star from me, unfortunately. Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about some fantasy, because I finally did start the Crescent City series, Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. And I know Sarah J. Maas is a bit of a controversial author. Some people love her, some people hate her. You can skip my review if you don't care. I always leave timestamps in the description, but I have a huge fear of missing out, especially now that we know that ACOTAR 6 is coming out later in the year, and I've been hearing, the streets have been saying that you need to be caught up with Crescent City to be able to fully enjoy and understand ACOTAR 6 and 7, so that means I need to get going. So I read the first book, House of Earth and Blood, House of Earth and Blood, and I enjoyed it. It's definitely the most unique in terms of Sarah J. Maas's like worlds. It's an urban, modern setting, but it's still fantastical. You've got fae and witches and pretty much any kind of magical creature you can think of. But you have technology, and so that's very different from like ACOTAR and Throne of Glass. But I enjoyed that it was a different vibe. I thought it was fun. There's a bit of a murder mystery at the center of the plot, and I enjoyed discovering that and like working through that with the characters. I really enjoyed our main character, Bryce. I actually don't know if this is Bryce. One thing about this series is I do not understand the covers. I don't know what I'm looking at. This is the exclusive edition, but even the original cover, I'm like, what is going on here? I don't know. And after reading the book, like, I still just don't get why we went with these covers, but anyway, that's beside the point. I did like Bryce, the main character. I think she's one of the more likable Sarah J. Maas FMCs, and she's quite smart, and I always love like seeing a smart woman kind of be underestimated by the men around her and then prove them wrong. So yeah, I liked Bryce, but everyone in the book is like in their early 20s. It's kind of like college age, and they speak like it. There's a lot of slang going on. I never want to read the word alpha hole again in my CW angsty drama shows from the 2010s that I was obsessed with. I loved watching. It was like giving Pretty Little Liars and Supernatural and Vampire Diaries, like that kind of energy. So yeah, I had fun. I enjoyed it. I'm gonna continue with the rest of the books. I don't know where we're going from here because this book does kind of have a full story arc by the end, so it could have been like a standalone, but obviously something has to go down in the next book, so we'll see. But I gave House of Earth and Blood 3.75 stars. 3.75 stars. Alright, next we have a contemporary romance. This has been on my physical TBR for like well over a year, and I was feeling inspired and I picked it up. This is Keep Her Safe. Keep Her Safe by Q.B. Tyler. This is dual point of view. So you're following our FMC Shay, who is a famous Hollywood actress. She was like a child star, so she's grown up famous, and now she's in her mid-20s, and it is a taboo, like forbidden romance with her bodyguard, Damien. So we get chapters from his perspective as well, and you just see how their relationship blossoms. Very spicy for sure, and it was alright. I love the like one of us is famous trope. It is one of my favorite in romances, and I think it's just because it reminds me of my days in middle school reading Justin Bieber fan fiction. It always takes me back, so I always like that trope, and I enjoyed that aspect of the plot. It was really fun, like seeing Shay's work life, and she's having some like drama with her ex-boyfriend who's also a famous actor, and there's like some PR stuff that they have to deal with, and so I enjoyed that. But as for the actual romance, I just didn't really care for it. It was okay. I don't like dual POV a lot of the time, because a lot of the times with male-female romances, like straight heterosexual romance, when we get the male perspective, the author just makes the man seem so horny, like for no reason. Like every time we were in Damien's chapters, I was like, calm down. Like, I just don't understand why. I don't need to be in the man's head. I don't need to know what weird thoughts he's having about her and her body all the time. Like, I didn't care for the male perspective. But I liked the chapters in Shay's perspective. They do get together and start like hooking up by the 30% point of the book, and like the book's quite short as it is. So it was just okay, and there is like a plot twist that I spotted from a mile away. Like I could have guessed it from the beginning. So I think it was just very mid. It was a mid book. I rated it 2.5 stars. 2.5 for QB Tyler. I don't think that this is an author for me. I've read, I think, at least one or two other books by QB Tyler, and I don't think I'm gonna pick any more up going forward. It was okay. Very forgettable. Okay, then I picked up an ebook on my Kindle. This is Play by Kylie Scott. Play by Kylie Scott. I've had this downloaded for forever because before I moved to Oregon, I did some research and I was collecting several different books that are set in Oregon or set specifically in Portland, and I thought it'd be fun to read them while I'm living here, and so that's why I picked this up. It is a rock star romance set in Portland. The MMC is a drummer for a band, and so it was matching the same vibe of the last book. I was like, if that one didn't work for me, maybe this one will work for me. I still like the One of Us is Famous vibe, so unfortunately though, this one did not work for me. It was even worse. I ended up DNFing it. I only got like maybe 20% into the book, recommendations, let me know in the comments, because I'm still looking for a trope, or I'm looking for a book that will scratch that itch that has that trope. So let me know, but neither of the ones that I picked up worked out for me this month. And last but certainly not least, I listened to an audiobook. I listened to You Better Believe I'm Gonna Talk About It by Lisa Rinna, which isn't my favorite name for a memoir, but whatever floats your boat. Don't get me wrong, Lisa Rinna is a reality TV icon, very famous for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She was also recently on Traitors, and I think she's funny. She's given us some really great television moments, and I always love a celebrity memoir or a book about reality TV, so I picked this up when I saw that it came out. This is, without a doubt, one of the worst celebrity books that I've picked up. I will say, I do not think that she hired a ghostwriter or anything. I truly feel like she wrote these words herself, but it really felt like she was kind of just brain dumping all of her memories from life in no particular order. It felt totally random, so much so that there was like contradictions within the same chapter. Like on one page she would say that she's never struggled with any substance abuse issues or drug problem, but then a few pages later talked about how she was on sleeping medication, like dependent on sleeping medication for several years, and had to be helped, weaned off of it because it was impacting her work while she was filming Real Housewives. And it's like, girl, what? And like anytime she would talk about something controversial or maybe where she was the problem in the situation, she would never really take any accountability. Like there was always an excuse or a reasoning. Like she always was trying to paint herself in the best light. It felt like a 200-page press release more than it did a memoir. And don't get me wrong, I feel like a lot of celebrity books are literally written just to like make the celebrity look good, but this was like too much. Like there was no self-reflection really, or taking accountability. Like it just felt like very narcissistic in my opinion. And it had so many name drops that she even included the Hailey Bieber Erewhon smoothie. Like she had to mention that she loves to get her Hailey Bieber smoothie. I was just like, girl, what are we talking about? She was also like body shaming Sutton, one of the other Real Housewives. It was weird. Lisa Rinna, I love you, but this book, it's not worth your time. I gave it 2 stars, so yeah. That brings us to the end. Those are the eight books that I read and DNF'd in the month of March, bringing us to 2,449 pages. Now let's quickly discuss my current read. I actually think that this was my current read in my last wrap-up, so I have continued to read Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I am taking my sweet time with this one, so I've just been reading it bits and pieces when I